How you doing, everybody? It's Wardy here, and I'm so pumped up to get into today's video because not only is Pete Alonso back with the Mets, but we have to deep dive how the Mets are undoubtedly one of the most lethal lineups in not only the National League, but in all Major League Baseball now as we head into the 2025 season. Listen, the Mets were looking solid as is by landing an 8-WAR player in Juan Soto on north of an $800 million contract, but it's another to land a surefire guaranteed thing of 35 to 45 plus home runs every single year in Pete Alonso. That is what we're going to deep dive, how the Mets compare and contrast with other lineups, not only in the National League East, but the National League entirely, and ultimately, how are they looking 1 through 9 as we head into what is going to be nothing short of an amazing 2025 season. Thank you guys so much for smashing that like and subscribe on as your first chime in, letting me know your initial reactions in the comments down below to Alonso's reunion. What is next for the Mets now as they have one of the most lethal lineups in baseball. Before we move forward on our video, let's first hear a quick word from today's video sponsor at WardyNYM, because when life throws you the unexpected, especially something like an accident that turns your world upside down, what's your next step? Dealing with injuries, insurance claims, and the stress of it all can feel very overwhelming, and that's why there are certain things you need to do naturally when you first get in an accident. 1, it goes without saying, make sure you're okay. 2, file a police report. 3, contact your insurance. And 4, make sure you get legal representation. And the great news, folks, our sponsor at WardyNYM has you covered because they are here to help. WardyNYM, they have built a reputation for fighting for the people. When you've been in an accident, their team is dedicated to providing the care, support, and help that you deserve. WardyNYM has modernized the injury law process so you can submit a claim and communicate with your legal team all from your smartphone. Getting started is so easy as well. In just 8 clicks or less, you can submit a claim with WardyNYM. You can submit your case details, sign contracts, upload documents, and medical records all from your phone. Quick and easy, just like that. And you can even text your attorney and legal team throughout the duration of your case. The fee is absolutely free, which is massive here, unless you win. Insurance companies often lowball clients' claims. WardyNYM will fight for their clients to get their money they deserve. Just in the past couple months, WardyNYM saw the verdicts of the following: $12 million in Florida, 34 times highest insurance offer. $26 million in Philadelphia, 40 times the highest insurance offer. $6.8 million in New York, 25 times the highest insurance offer. All firms are not the same. WardyNYM is the biggest for a reason. They've won a lot. When you hire WardyNYM, you don't just get a lawyer assigning your case. You get a dedicated legal team, case investigators, paralegals, and customer case specialists, all focused on maximizing your settlement. For more information, you guys can check out by visiting tryforthepeople.com/WardyNYM or call 844-263-7798 today, because when you're up against the unexpected, you deserve a team that's ready to fight for you. Shout out to WardyNYM once more for being a sponsor in today's video. Alrighty, folks, now reeling back in and talking about this amazing Mets lineup. As I said, this one has easily the potential to be one of the best ones in not only the National League, but in all of Major League Baseball. Now, folks, let's reel back just for a second as to how we got here, because I came out with a piece on the platform right around 24 to 48 hours ago. Check it out in case you guys haven't already. But I highlighted how recent pieces have the Mets looking like the most improved team this offseason, along with what their projections are for the 2025 year. And the improvements come courtesy of Mike Petrello, who does a very good job covering all Major League Baseball topics on MLB.com. Might have butchered the last name, I apologize, but he came out with a piece in the first week of February stating how the Mets have far and away the most improved team this offseason based on WAR alone. They have acquired 9.5 projected WAR, wins above replacement, of players heading into the 2025 season. That is 2 WAR more than the LA Dodgers, who trail second right around 7.5. Mind you, this was prior to bringing back Pete Alonso. Now, adding Alonso on that 2-year, $54 million deal, first year, $30 million, including the signing bonus and opt-out after year 1, in which he will likely take unless something really goes awry in 2025 for Alonso. David Stearns looks brilliant on that short-term high EV offer, and for the Mets, now they have themselves a lineup that was already projected to do strong things heading into the season. Per Pacoda's projections that we've seen through Baseball Prospectus, they have the Mets coming in second second out of the National League East, trailing the Atlanta Braves by just 2 or 3 games there to come short with 89 wins, 73 losses or so in that range. I could be mathing or not mathing right, so I apologize. Not a mathematician, just a YouTuber that's trying to pump out some nice content for you guys. And on the projection front, not only the Mets expected to become second in the National League East, but they're also expected to have a solid run in postseason play, as a surprise to absolutely nobody, given what we saw the Mets do last year and defy every odd imaginable. Now the Mets, with the expectations, with Juan Soto adding a projected 6.5 WAR player, adding Sean Manaea back on a 2 WAR player projected, Clay Holmes, who's projected to be a more valuable player than Sean Manaea next season. Yes, you heard that correctly, at 2.3 to 2.5, adding in the mix of Jesse Winker there, AJ Minter, and everyone else in company. That's a couple more WAR. Brady Alonso then has the Mets, at least right now, on the projection level of right around 11.5, if not more there, on the total acquired WAR for the 2025 season. And the best part of it all, everybody, not only are the Mets were initially projected to be 2 or 3 wins less than the Atlanta Braves before adding Alonso, but they are also projected to have the 3rd highest scoring offense out of the National League with over 700 runs, only trailing 2 teams out of the National League West, that being in the LA Dodgers, obviously, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mind you, this is before adding Alonso. So bringing Alonso into this lineup and adding hopefully another 90 to 100 runs is hopefully what we could find ourselves getting with a guy like Pete there, who, mind you, in a down year for Alonso this past season, still put up numbers that a lot of teams would be dying for their lineup right now. 34 home runs, 88 RBIs there, 91 runs scored at 240, 329, 459 clip for a 2.1 WAR, 122 WRC plus, over 20% better than the average batter in baseball. This is Alonso at his lowest, everybody. Batting with Juan Soto and batting in this lineup is going to be the ultimate difference maker. And as you guys can see here from this graphic on what we could be looking at with this lineup for the 2025 season, this is where I want to know from each and every one of you guys, how high or how low are you on this Mets team? Because it's really hard to not look at something like this and not just to feel unbelievably confident and what the Mets can or can't do here. Because when I look at 1 through 9 and what Pete Alonso can provide and everyone else for this Mets team, again, this is talking about not only amongst the best in the National League, but we're talking about amongst the best in baseball right now, folks. It was one thing if we head into the season with Juan Soto being the biggest acquisition and not having Alonso return. Your lineup is still better, in my opinion, than what it was last season. That honestly goes a lot in hand with the Soto production. But now to potentially have a lineup of Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Mark Vientos, Jesse Winker, or Starling Marte in DH, Francisco Alvarez, Jeff McNeil, or Luis Angel Acuna, Jose Siri, or Tyrone Taylor, guys. The Mets were projected to get 700 plus runs before Alonso. Now, after adding Alonso, there is a reality that the Mets are the highest scoring offense in not only the National League, but potentially across Major League Baseball. I'm going to put it out there right now. The Mets are going to be a top 3 to top 5 offensive team in all of the game this season alone. Even with inevitable injuries, even with potential ups and downs that come with youngsters and Vientos and Alvarez, I am absolutely filled with confidence with what this offense can do. Because when you look at the 1 through 7, everybody, what stands out so much about the 1 through 7? First time in my life as a Mets fan that I can witness comfortably watching the games there. As someone who's been truly locked in for a good portion of my life now, seeing a 1 through 7 lineup where those first 7 batters can easily give you 25 plus home runs this season. We're pushing anywhere from 25 to all the way to 40 to 45 plus when we talk about Soto and Alonso. Francisco Lindor is a lock for another 30 home run, 100 RBI, and 30 stolen bag season when fully healthy. Juan Soto is a lock for another 35 plus home run, well over hopefully 100 plus RBI season, and pushing north of 1,000 OPS in that range. Pete Alonso, another 35 to 40 home run season, 90 to 100 plus RBIs, and very well could have the best offensive season that we've seen yet, now teammates with Juan Soto. Brandon Nimmo, the plantar fasciitis, if he can stay relatively healthy and give us 150 plus games, this is a guy that can give you power production in the 25 plus home run category there, 70 to 80 to 90 RBI range. Mark Vientos in a full 162 and just over 100 games, he gave us 26 home runs this past season. What can he give us in a full 162 when healthy? Vientos has all the potential of being a 30 to 40 home run hitting machine at the hot corner. Then we have Jesse Winker and Starling Marte. Just give us a combined 20, 25 home runs from that position. I'll be happy there. I'm not expecting too much. Francisco Alvarez, Alvy, in a healthy bounce back year, I firmly expect at least 25 home runs from Alvarez this year. And that is not outlandish at all from what we saw him do just in 2023 when everything was awry for the Mets. One of the certainties was Alvarez really breaking out. In 2024, the thumb injury really derailed him from that trip there in LA against the Dodgers to kickstart the season for the most part, and he really wasn't the same offensively consistently from that point on. Had some solid stretches in the second half and a postseason for the Mets, which was awesome, but Alvy is a guy that I firmly expect to have a 25-plus home run season. McNeil, Jose Siri, Potato on the home run production, but 1 through 7 guys. Then when you look at, okay, the Atlanta Braves with Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Marcelo Zuna, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr., Michael Harris, Jurickson Profar, Sean Murphy. Listen, that's a tremendous lineup, but this team goes toe-to-toe with the Atlanta Braves when fully healthy, right? You look at the Philadelphia Phillies, the Big Boppers, and Nicky C, Schwarbo, Harper, Bohm, everyone else in company, one of the best catchers in the game still, JT Realmuto. That offense doesn't concern me as much, but their pitching will carry them after acquiring Jesus Luzardo and all the other key pieces that the Phillies have added this offseason, even though they haven't made too ginormous of splashes in comparison to a team like the Mets and the Dodgers, among others. And how do the Mets compare against a team like the Dodgers? Obviously, they don't have the best lineup on paper. They don't have a 3-4-headed monster the way that the Dodgers do, but they have a core group that can go toe-to-toe with the best in the game right now. To have quite literally 3-4+ hitters that can give you 35-40 home runs in Soto, in Lindor, in Alonso, in Vientos there, and potentially Alvarez. That is tremendous home run production, and we know how far this Mets team can get with home run production. Now just imagine how Alonso will feel not being the go-to guy. The pressure is not on Pete's shoulders. It's only on his shoulders if he really feels like, oh my God, there's a dark cloud looming over my head and another potential walker is a Scott Boras client. No, Pete should come in, calm, cool, and collected this spring, having Juan Soto on his side. They're going to be absolutely electric together, hitting bombs. We're going to see so many games where they hit back-to-back home runs. You buckle up, Mets fans. This thing is going to be nothing short of a human highlight reel electric factory with this lineup 1 through 9. And not only does Alonso bring so much to this Mets team, but you just look on how they now compare and contrast with all the lineups in Major League Baseball. Just think about what this lineup can and will inevitably do in the Subway Series against the Yankees and against everyone else in company this year, guys. I'm telling you, if you did not have a reason to be excited about the Mets before, even after landing Soto, you better be excited now. There are endless reasons to lock in for what's going to be a surefire, guaranteed thing of an electric 2025 Mets season. We're going to have our highs, we're going to have our lows, and we're going to go through it all together as we cover the Mets every single game and post-game coverage here on the platform and weekly in-game live shows as well this season on the WardyNYM platform. Just like we did throughout all playoffs, we will do on a weekly basis a couple games, probably at most each week throughout the regular season all year long, and nightly post-game shows, as I alluded to, folks. I cannot wait to deep dive this lineup on a nightly basis with every single one of you and telling you guys how Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, and Pete Alonso all had home runs and a massive 11-3 victory for the Mets over the Atlanta Braves. Sorry, Braves fans. I know it's going to be a bloodbath this year, and I simply cannot wait for it to happen. Mets fans, let me know in the comments down below, how excited are you for this lethal Mets lineup? Again, from what the initial projections were and predictions heading into the season without Alonso, they were already a big deal and really in favor of the Mets. Now you're telling me Alonso's back. Yeah, this Mets team easily could find themselves in the 90+ win category. I expect them to, if not win the NL East, then to fall just short to a team like the Atlanta Braves. It'll be a bloodbath, but how they go toe-to-toe, I have more confidence in that. Pardon me, almost dropped my mic there. I have more confidence than I've ever had in this Mets team to go up against Ronald Acuna Jr., that entire Atlanta Braves team, Bryce Harper, that entire Philadelphia Phillies team, even Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers, what they're giving, Fernando Tatis Jr., and what the Padres are giving, everyone else out of the Central, everyone else out of the West. Keep them coming, baby. The Mets are here to stay, and they're here to play big time. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for more consistent Mets coverage on all things Mets in season and off season long here on the platform. And until then, folks, have a fantastic rest of your night, day, evening, whenever you're watching this. And this is your guy, Wardy, signing out. Let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.